So the wealthy people think that generational wealth is just financial. And I argue, or I always think that generational wealth is actually the knowledge. My goal is 1.5 a year, right? That's my goal. 1.5 a year. Let's say I reach that. The knowledge, it's not the money that I hand to my kids, but if I hand them the knowledge to learn how to make 1.5 million by the time they are 30, like 30, I'm about to be 45. They're 15 years ahead of me then. Now they could take that knowledge that they've learned and that I've given them, and by the time they are 45, maybe they're making 3 million. Now they've doubled, right? So it's the knowledge, it's the understanding, and it's the appreciation for it.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat is at the streets of awaken. I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, yeah. Everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood. I'm posted up at the Daisy. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the song at the board show. Becoming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Saber, holy
Live everywhere? Okay. Nah, they didn't have school. Oh, that's what's up. Okay. I'm grateful that life keeps presenting me with situations to see if I'm learning from them and have the ability to let go of situations that I need to let go of, that are no longer servicing me and that I cannot provide a service for. What are you grateful for? What are y'all grateful for today? So I want to know. Please inform me. So as you're doing that, London's grateful for life. That's what's up. There we go. So today's topic, what they never taught us, the hidden game of success, right? So since I was about somewhere between 9 to 11, I really started working essentially, right? So I was mowing lawns and then going to ask neighbors if I could mow lawns and just trying to grow things, moving around in the area. When it was winter, shoveling snow, selling candy, selling other things, and even by 14, working at a gas station, right? Doing a paper route. All these different jobs, right? To create revenue, to create money. And a lot of the jobs early on were I was running my own business. And all I knew is that if I worked hard, I would be successful. And I kept doing this until 2009, when I finally started officially working for myself, right? But I realized along the way that there's a hidden game to success. One, nobody's ever taught me. I didn't learn it in school. No one ever broke it down. No one sat me down and really broke it down to me. Hard work is only part of it. It's only part of it. But it's not the whole story. There are unspoken rules, lessons you either figure out the hard way or get left behind. And so today I want to talk to you about some of the lessons and what I learned from this, right? As I already stated, hard work hard work alone isn't the answer, right? You must have a great work ethic. You must work hard, but that alone will not bring you to the promised land, wherever you're trying to go. Growing up, I thought if you worked hard enough, you'd make it. So I worked, always had a hustle, always had money in my pocket, but I was playing the small game, trading time for money, chasing the next opportunity without seeing the bigger picture, right? What they don't tell you is that hard work alone isn't enough. It's where you apply it that matters. You can hustle 16 hours a day, but it's not moving you forward. You're just running in place. My mind started to think differently and I've talked about this with people and they always laugh when I say this. When I was about 20 years old and I started working at a yogurt factory and I was lumping in these hours making yogurt. I remember when I started for this company, right? I only did it so I could make more money. I already had other jobs, but I wasn't making as much money as I wanted to make. So I decided I'm going to go work at this factory and I'm going to make way more money, right? And with this money, I'm going to live a happier life because I'm making more money and I'm going to be able to get the things that I want to get and I'm be able to do the things that I want to do. Because everywhere, that's what you do. You work a job, you make more money, and your life is good, right? And to a certain aspect, that's facts. So I go and I work for this yogurt factory. I work a second shift position, and they don't have a third shift position. So there were days where I'd start at 2 p.m. If the lines broke down, I'd be there until 6 a.m. when first shift shows up. That sounds great when you start thinking about the paychecks, but I didn't have a life. I didn't have anything going on. And I'm just thinking, work hard, work hard, work hard, work hard. And then I have my daughter and I want to move to first shift. And I'm like, okay, now we have a third shift. We have 3 shifts running. I'm going to go to day shift. I'm going to work first shift. This is going to be great, right? This is going to be amazing. But then the business starts to grow, right? And now we're not just making yogurt for one company, we're making it for other companies and we're putting other companies out of business and we're growing and we're growing. That's great, except for the fact that in the retrospect of the business, I'm on the floor making the yogurt, right? So it's on me to work 18 days in a row, get a half day off, 20 some days in a row, get a day off, work another month in a row, then get another half day off. And I'm burned out. And it's not even that I'm physically burned out, even though it was a physically taxing job. I was mentally and emotionally burned out because it wasn't doing anything to stimulate me to think. It wasn't doing anything to get me to become a better person. And the money that was coming in, I had a house, a few cars, that didn't do anything for me. And I realized, like, what am I doing? What am I teaching my daughter right now? I'm going to teach my daughter to work a job that she doesn't love to make money. And I decided at that moment of time, I need to start trading my time, right, in a way that builds my dream into this reality. Because right now, I'm making somebody that's already successful become richer. And when he sold the business, he made millions and it didn't change anything for my life. So I started my own business and started doing my thing and really started focusing on building my dreams into this reality. And the funny thing is that the game of money, they don't teach us how to actually work money. They don't teach us in schools how to operate with money. Most parents don't teach their kids how to operate in money. When I made money young, I didn't understand it. I knew how to get it, but I didn't know how to keep it, grow it, or make it work for me, right? Nobody was teaching about credit. Nobody was teaching about investing in ownership. And it's the I call it a gift and a curse, right? That I'm about to be 45 in a few months. So I predate the internet as far as commercially used internet. So there was no Googling this. So if the parents didn't teach you, if you didn't have mentors teach you this, if somebody didn't pull you to the side, I didn't even know to read books on this. I didn't even know what investing was, right? This wasn't something we talked about in schools. When I was starting a lawn business, I was thinking short-term money, like, cool, this is gonna give me the money that I need right now. And it sucks because oh, that if I would have known how to operate money, I would have known for every lawn I mowed, I think I charged like $20 to $40 or something for a front and backyard. You figure $10 in gas when it's done. I should have taken I should have taken the other like 3/4 of the rest and put it in an account and let it earn money. I didn't know that, right? And I can't be mad at anyone. I didn't know about it, so I can't be mad about it. But because I didn't learn that, I didn't know that right at that moment, I was already investing my time into something that I wanted to do and not work a job I didn't want to do. Same thing with the paper routes, same thing with selling candy, the same thing with selling illegal products, right? The same thing. Because I had ownership of my business somewhat, right? I was investing my time and able to make more money because I was able to choose the value of what I was worth, right? If I told somebody I'll mow your lawn, that's funny. That's funny. When I went to someone and wanted to mow their lawns, right? If I told them $40 for front and backyard and they paid it, and it took me an hour to get done, I'm making $40 an hour. In fact, that's great money right now, right? There's people that want to make $40 an hour right now. That was definitely great in the 90s. You know what I mean? And so, but I didn't understand value of money. I didn't understand how time worked. It was like, let me just chase money and get money and get money. I didn't know how to invest it. I didn't know how to save it. I didn't know how to put it to the side. I didn't know any of that. I didn't even understand how it worked. Right? Sucks. What I've later learned is that value yourself, figure out what your value is to the field that you want to run, right? And then take that money and start investing it in different things. Save it, invest it, move it here, move it there. And then as I've really understood how this stuff works and how running a business works and how money works, success is about who you know, not just about what you know. So you can know it all, right? But you can't, there's not enough time in the day for you to do it all, right? I can understand how to set up this camera, right? I can know how to do the boards. I can know how to do all this. But if there's a malfunction, I can't get up and go do it, right? So the person I know is handling that. What up? What up? Good morning. When I need certain connections, when I need to do something, I have to go out and meet new people. I have to know where my strengths are and my weaknesses are, so I can have those people aligned correctly so they can benefit my business, and then make sure that I'm doing something that will benefit them as well, right? When I was out here moving, I wasn't always networking. Once I started meeting the right people, mentors, business minds, fighters, entrepreneurs, I saw how much I didn't know, which allowed me to start learning more. Because then once you get in the rooms with people that are making a different kind of money and having different kinds of conversations, you shut up and listen, and then you might ask questions, and then you go off and learn, right? You need to learn. And it took me a minute to learn how to build those relationships, to make sure that I am in service of them just as much as they in service of me, and make sure that I'm a hot commodity. I remember I was just talking about this last night. What's up? What's up, Tanya? What's up? People don't want to intern anymore. People don't want to hustle no more like that, right? When I got asked to become an intern for a company called Get Your Buzz Up, the first thing they asked me is like, yo, and this lets you know how old I am. WordPress was a new thing, right? They were like, yo, do you know how to do WordPress? Do you know how to do blogging? Do you know how to do this? And I was like, yeah, I do. What do you need me to do? I didn't have a clue in what I was doing. But that was an opportunity that I was not going to let slip away. And all I did was study how to blog, how to work WordPress, how to do this. I needed to add this skill because I knew the opportunity to be able to work with this company was going to help what I was doing with my company and trying to build up my music business, right? So I went all in. I went all in to learn this new skill, and I did. Then they said, well, here, can you start interviewing folks? Yes, I can. Do you mind if I start interviewing people and just reach out to people and interview besides the artists that you're sending me? Yeah, no problem. Boom. Now I'm adding value to the company while also networking with other artists. Is that whole reason is why I made a dope connection with Big Sean, right? How I was able to network with Wiz Khalifa and work with him before Black and Yellow even dropped. And countless other artists, I was able to make a dope connection. Currency, 3 6 Mafia, like the list goes on. I was able to make these dope connections with them, right? Which then led to me booking shows with them and led to different things, right? All because I was able to get rid of my ego and say, yes, I'm going to figure out how to do this, and I'm going to do this. And I wasn't getting paid to do it because I knew this thing that I was going to do wasn't about the money. It was about the time and effort that I put into this that was going to turn into dollar signs later. I was investing my time to make money later instead of making money right now and sacrificing my time, which I was doing when I was working for a yogurt factory, right? I was making lots of money, but losing time. Now I'm going to invest my time into learning this, knowing it's going to pay dividends later on into the business that I'm trying to grow, right? It put me in different conversations with different people. I got to hear how people moved. I got to understand how money worked. I got to learn so many different things that I did not know before, all because I chose to build my dream. And instead of chasing money, I chose to chase networking, relationships, chasing more time, and letting money come in because of that. And it put me in the right rooms and it taught me how to operate in the right rooms. When you start to break that down, I'm still lost on why people don't chase their dreams. It's possible to build your dreams. You just have to do a lot of work to learn how to do that. And it might cause you to work a normal job. Corey, I don't know if you worked a normal job when you were building a business. I know I did. Okay, he did too. And you do that for a while because that's the goal. You need something to fund that business, right? So, but you're building your dream. You essentially work two jobs now. And people don't want to make that sacrifice a lot of times, or people are afraid to chase their dream, or people just don't know how to do it. And I didn't know how to do it either, but I went through all the bumps and bruises to learning how to do it. And as I said, I was doing it for free. It's funny, a couple years later, I own Get Your Buzz Up. That's a crazy transition from intern to owner. I didn't know what I was doing. I was figuring it out, how to own and run this company. Well, that's amazing because when it came to my gym, I didn't know how to run a gym either. I was a student and a fighter and an instructor and then coach. I had to learn how to run a gym. Amazing. And you learn it by working hard, right? So that aspect doesn't go away. You still got to work hard, but you also learn how to leverage your time. You learn how to network. You learn how to ask questions. You learn from other people that have done it. It's freaking crazy. Can you scroll up, Corey, please? I know people were asking questions and someone said something funny. Made me laugh anyway. Meet those, good morning. Anything else? How to get a job? How do you get a job at 15? Well, I believe people still hire, there's still companies that hire kids at 14 now, but in the 90s for sure. Like I started mowing lawns and doing paper routes and selling candy when I got, oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for tuning in. When I worked at a gas station, I think I was 14 or 15, right? And I don't even, and they didn't, they may have had a law about selling smokes at 18, but I can't remember. I can't remember back then, right? So, and as far as that person saying saying something about starting a podcast, that's funny. That's funny. Exactly. I'm 48 and started working at 13 and paper route, made great money from 13. Yeah. Like that's what I'm saying. Like is you just got to buckle down and work the job, right? Just do the thing. What the question that people always miss, and again, just like money in the financial aspect, people don't talk about. People also don't talk about the hidden cost of success. People always see the wins, but they don't see the sacrifices. Nobody talks about the nights you don't sleep, the relationships that get strained, the times you wonder if it's all worth it. I missed a lot of moments chasing success because in my mind, there was no other choice. I had to get it, right? Had to prove to myself that I could build something on my own terms. The hardest part isn't the grind, it's keeping yourself grounded when everything around you is shifting. That's why self-control, discipline, and mindset are everything. The hardest thing to do is to be able to look people in their eye and say, I can't make this birthday party. man, I want to come to this anniversary party. I want to come to your wedding, but I can't. And you have to understand they'll never understand. And that's okay. That's okay. And you know what? I won't say you're so welcome. You're so welcome. Invest in you. That's the most rewarding payoff. I agree somewhat with that, Tanya. I agree somewhat with that. I wasn't able to make my niece's funeral because if I did that, I would have had to cancel an event that I already had booked prior to her death. And that would have costed me money that I couldn't afford to lose right then. And it would have done more damage to my family and to my business. And that was both heartbreaking and it sucked. And I had to make that choice, right? That was a choice I had. I didn't believe I had another choice. And I would make that same choice today, years later, knowing everything, because to me, it was the right choice. Okay. Especially when you have kids, you bang, make it to everything. My circle understood. Yeah, with my own kids, I made sure that I didn't miss plays. I didn't miss music events. I didn't miss can't. That was the one thing that I didn't really want to sacrifice. I got very blessed that like my daughter didn't play a lot of sports. She played lots of sports when she was really little. She did plays and stuff like that. But most of that I was able to attend during the day when I wasn't as busy. With my son, my business has been at a point where I could actually make it work. So I coached him in football from like third grade, oh crap, so eighth grade. And I was the head coach for him until eighth grade. So I got to dictate when practice was. So I just made practice on a day where it wasn't interrupting my schedule, right? And the games were early as Saturday morning. So I didn't have nothing to worry about. Eighth grade, by the time he's a freshman now. So by the time he got to eighth grade, my business was at the point where I could either have somebody else teach that class or make other moves, right? I don't have to just teach all my classes. I have other instructors now. So I'm at a different point with the business. That's why I also encourage young people to go out there and get it, build that, make all the mistakes. So by the time you have kids, your business infrastructure is already set and you already have a good, you're already good on a lot of the things that are required when you're running a business, working through the holidays, doing all these things. Now I will say I didn't miss any functions, but on Christmas Day, after they opened gifts, I would go to my gym and train my fighters, right? On Thanksgiving, I would work and then come home. So I just had to do that. That was the cost of being the boss, right? Heavy is the crown, as I always say. So there's a lot of sacrifices that are involved in running a business and building your dreams and in making money. That's why if you're going to make those sacrifices of time, make sure that you're loving what you do. Don't just choose something for the money, right? Because it's going to kill your soul. If I have to look my kid in their face and say, "Hey, I got to coach this fight out in Germany and it's on for especially with my son, if it's on my son's birthday, it better be something I love to do and it better be something worthwhile." If I have to go work and make yogurt, since I was talking about that job, if I just got to go and make yogurt and I'm going to miss his birthday, that's going to kill my soul. But if my son knows I love what I do, this is my calling, this is my dream, and I'm building it, kid, when I get home, I got you. Dad's got to go do this. My son will understand that because he's training his butt off to chase his dreams, right? And it lets me know I'm doing a good job because he is chasing his dreams. His dreams just aren't as big as mine right now. So we're good. That's hard, brother. I'm sorry about your loss. Thank you. I completely understand and no judgment here. Thank you for that. Damn, that's cold-hearted. Bet that was hard. So yeah, it was hard because it was harder trying to tell my brother and his wife because they didn't, I mean, obviously they didn't understand, because in their mind, they wouldn't make that choice. They would have taken off work. And that's easier to do, to just take off work, right? I couldn't do that. I already put a few $1,000s into this event. I cancel this event. I don't get that money back. Plus, I still got to pay a few other $1,000s for this. That's a chunk that I'm not ready to pay. So yeah, that was hard. I met my friends, understood. I don't miss my kids stuff. Yeah, there you go. Fresh to Snipes. That's what's up. I only missed one high school game. Haven't missed my daughter's plays. That's dope. That's important. Kids need to feel important. When we love what we do, it's never a job. I don't know if I agree with that. It sometimes feels like a job, because I don't like everything that I do. I love my job. I love my career. I don't like everything involved in my career all the time. Bro, speaking facts, glad I found your page. Oh man, thank you. Appreciate you. Are we all caught up? It's to be able to start building into your dreams. Well, start building your dreams, or learning how to invest your money, or learn how to really make time work for you. You have to have this mindset shift from survival to mastery. So many of us live in the survival mode where it's like, oh my God, I gotta get it. I gotta get it. I gotta get it. Man, I don't have money today. You get so used to living that, what do they call that? Paycheck to paycheck, right? Where it's like, oh my God, I gotta pay this bill, and I gotta pay this bill, and I gotta pay this bill. And it's like, hey, one, map that out. Cool. You make $800 a week. Okay, cool. What's 800 times 4? You're making $3,200 a month. Okay. What are your bills? Well, my rent is $1,200. Cool. Okay. Well, now subtract that $1,200 from that $3,200, right? Gas is this, groceries are this, and then start just going down the line. And then be willing to remove. And what's funny is I just had this conversation with my daughter, because they just got a new car. They're moving into a new place, her and her man. And it's like, hey, I don't want to hear about money when I still see your nails done. I don't want to hear about money if you're drinking Starbucks, right? Where's your budget? Show me your budget, right? Bring me your evidence here. Show me how everything's breaking down. Well, cool. I don't see nails in your budget. I don't see coffee in your budget. There's nothing wrong with doing this stuff, right? But you better put it in your budget. I tell people, like, I used to have my green medicine in my budget. Like, it's got to be in the budget, because then when you look at your money and you're like, man, at the end of the month, I only have $100 left, but I want to save more than $100. You got to start cutting back, and you got to look at what you can start cutting back, because you can't cut back on your rent. You can't cut back on your food, probably, if you're going to the grocery store and doing all that. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't, there's certain things that you can't cut back on, but you don't have to get your nails done. You don't have to get Starbucks. You could just buy coffee, make it you know what I'm saying? Like, you could do the nails yourself. Now, all of a sudden, maybe you're saving $200. Well, that's a big difference, right? And now think about this on any budget, on any way to break money down. But you got to get out of that survival mind frame, and you got to decide that I want to be better. I want to master this. For a long time, my mindset was about survival, making money, make enough money, keep grinding, keep moving. But survival isn't success. That's why I felt like I was trapped when I was working at a yogurt factory, because it was make money, get money, make money, get money, make money, get money. Cool. I got these cars. I got this house. I got this stuff, but I'm not chasing my dream. I'm not building anything. I'm building a multi-million-dollar business for somebody else. I'm building their dream, which is great if that's what you want to do. I ain't want to do that. I ain't want to make yogurt like that. So the real shift happened when I stopped just thinking about making money and started thinking about mastering something. For me, it was music business. It was music. And I went all in on mastering that and everything that had to do with that. Getting to understand myself better and master myself, and the key word that, like, people around me are using now is being vulnerable with the things that I'm not good at. Right? Now, it sounds like I'm contradicting myself because earlier I said, well, I said yes to working for Get Your Buzz Up as an intern, and I didn't know how to blog on WordPress. Yes, I told them I could do the job. I can do it. Yes, I know how to do it. I'll do it. I was honest with myself that I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I need to go figure it out. And then I would talk to my brother Pakal and be like, yo, help me, right? I see how to do this. 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 I know how to work with HTML now. I know how to put this in there, but how do I do this part? Because I can't find that anywhere. Oh man, that's a quick trick. Right? I knew I had to get in the door. So I wasn't going to blow that opportunity, but I was honest with myself and the people close to me like, yo, let's get it. And the thing is, if I would have stayed in survival mode, because that's all I knew, I wouldn't have been able to break out of what we call the rat race, right? Robert Kiyosaki talks about the rat race with Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I would have been trapped in it. I would have been constantly stuck in this rat race of chasing money and sacrificing time and hating life. And then my kids would have suffered because I'm miserable. And I could have been a man and just like, yeah, I'm miserable. I'm going to suck it up. But that's stupid. I'm going to be a man and I'm going to build something that I'm proud of so that my kids can know they can build something that they're proud of. If they want to work for somebody, that's their choice. But now let's try to give them better options than I had. So it's like when oh man, let me touch base. Exactly. I say this all the time. My whiskey got to be in the budget. There you go. Yay. Whatever it is. Facts, not facts. I like that. Hello, Daniel. So it seems like people are understanding what I'm saying and vibing with it. So, like, look, again, the topic, what they never taught us, the hidden game of success. Life is a game when you really break it down. There's a reason why these board games, Monopoly, Life, all these different games are fun to us, right? Because they represent sort of what life is like. You go around Go, you make some money in Monopoly, right? You get some money. What you do with that money in order to make you money. So let me buy some property. You land on it, right? You got to pay that rent, right? That's life. Are you the owner or are you the consumer? In some ways, we're all consumers. We got to go get groceries, right? But check it. You don't have to. You could build a garden. I eat vegetables all the time that's from our garden. Everybody yesterday people were complaining about egg prices. This summer, I'm gonna have a chicken coop. I'm a city boy. I would have never thought I have a chicken coop in my backyard, yo. But I'm stoked that I'm gonna have that now because eggs are getting crazy priced. I wear You Control You clothing and the Blast stuff all the time. That's my own brand. Now, do I still go and buy stuff and some stuff? Yeah. I don't have my own whiskey brand. So I'm drinking someone else's whiskey since I seen someone mention whiskey. I don't grow my own green medicine. So if I need it, I get it from somewhere else, a dispensary, right? So it's just, we just said the same thing at the same time I'm doing this as well. That's what's up. Single dad to give my son options. Let me see how he can run his own game and have time to enjoy. Exactly. Life is just a game. Had to give it up drink. Oh, someone's talking about, man, had to give up the drink 526 days, no brew. Let's go. I don't know why you had to give it up, but obviously you did something, you stick it to it. That's what's up. Like when you really break this down, right? If you don't want to run a business, that's fine, but love what you do, right? Because not everybody's meant to run a business, right? Some people are just meant to help. That's okay. Be okay with that. Just help something that you love and that you believe in. If you got to work a job to be able to get to that point, yeah, get your hustle on. Get your hustle on. But you're going to spend 50 years doing it? 50 years? Man, I just couldn't do nothing else. That's by choice. Because were you taking time to have a drink? Were you hanging out with friends? Were you watching some games? Were you playing games? Were you chasing women? Like, were you chasing men? You had the time. You didn't want to invest it into learning something new that could propel you into something you truly loved. You didn't want to put the work into the game. Admit that. Just be honest about that. I was just comfortable with where I was at. Cool. I'm not hating on you. Be okay with that. Be okay with that. And then life is a lot easier for you because then you're just content with what you got. But if you're trying to do something more, you're going to have to work harder and go out and master new skills. I don't like to post on social media. I don't want to schedule out posts. I don't want to do all that. But how is my podcast going to get to the point where I want it to be? I better schedule those posts, right? I don't want to edit videos. I don't want to do that. So I have two options. I can pay for it to get done. Or I could do it. I'm paying someone to do it. I pay my man's Corey. Corey and me are like tight, but I'm gonna pay him for the services because now I don't have to do it. Now it's not quite in the podcast budget to pay someone else to post the content, so I'll do it myself, right? But I'm out here grinding. I'm hustling in something I love to do, something I want to do, something I want to invest time in, right? I'm not running that rat race because I'm doing what I love to do. And it all comes from the fact that I refuse to act like I'm surviving something right now. I'd rather go out and master it. I want to master this. I want to get so great at it that I can't be refused anywhere. But if I sit back and like, oh my God, I'm worried about this and I'm worried about this and I'm worried about this. Well, one, why am I worried about it? My budget should tell me what's going on with my money, right? And where money needs to go. And I should know how much money I'm bringing in, right? So I shouldn't have to freak out about that if I budget it. Now, if I budget it and all my essentials require me, if I got so much money going out and I don't have that much money coming in and I cut everything I could, now instead of freaking out, I just got to go find another job. Now I got to get my hustle on, right? Until it balances out and it evens out, right? Does that make sense to people? I hope it does. Wait, what's this? People go to Starbucks, Uber Eats every day, and they normally the ones trying to ask me for money. Yeah, I would say no. I have a customer asking me to build them a chicken coop right now. Haha, think it's blowing up more. Yeah, man. My wife is on there. My wife picked it out. She's already got it. She's like, we're building this summer. And then we got chickens at another farm ready for us. So it's crazy. Yeah, comfortability is a bad spot. Not for me at all. Got to keep growing. Hello, everybody. Yeah, hello. What's up? What's up? If you're too comfortable, there's no growth. Yes, bro. No reason to be comfortable with just getting by. Free Spirit Creations. Hey, yep, sure. So, yeah, I'm not comfortable with being comfortable all the time. I believe I have to find some discomfort somewhere in order to grow and become better. But I'm not knocking anyone that just wants to live a comfortable life and they don't want to continue to grow. That's cool for you. I ain't hating. It's all good. Whether I could be around you, I don't know, right? We may not have anything to talk about because when I'm talking about building something and I'm passionate about my business, like this is what I've learned. People say, Sha, when we talk, the only thing you ever want to talk about is work. Like, man, I love what I do. What you mean? I want to talk about running my gym. I want to talk about training my fighters. I want to talk about doing my podcast. I want to talk about motivational speaking. I want to talk about doing videos on TikTok. I want to talk about my job because I love what I do. It's everything to me. You want to talk about football. I could talk about football too, but the way you get passionate about football is how I get passionate about what I do. I want to talk about my kids, right? I want to talk about the things that I'm passionate about. I want to talk about the things that mean something to me. I'm not the elevator conversation dude. If I ask you what's up, how are you? I want to know how you are, and let's have a conversation. So when you talk, yo, what you been up to? Man, I'm grinding, man. I'm loving it. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. I'm doing this. And I could tell real quick, they don't want to have that conversation because I'm talking about work and they don't want to talk about their job. Great, cool. I don't know what to talk to you about then. I'm trying to master. Oh, I almost swore. I'm trying to master stuff. If you're not, that's fine. I don't know what we're going to talk about. Right? That's facts. Oh, thank you. I am new, but can I ask, when do you have these talks? Like, are they sporadic? You mean when I'm talking with people? Like, it'll be with family, it'll be with friends sometimes. Like, I'm trying to think the last one I just had. Like, sometimes, you know what happens? we'll get up for a poker game. I try to have poker like once a quarter, meaning like every few months, try to get a poker game. Otherwise, I won't see anybody. So, and then I have some of my friends come by and they'll be like, "Yo, what's going on?" And I'll talk about it, and it's like they get quiet. I'll say, "Yo, how's work going for you?" "Oh man, it sucks, but it's a paycheck. What about you? How's the gym going?" "Man, the gym is going great. So I'm training this fight. I'm training this fight," and like they don't know what to say. They don't even know what to do. So it's hard to have those conversations. I've had it with family, right? With my ex-wife, when I'd be at her mom's or something for the holidays, they'd be like, "You're so quiet." And I'm like, "Yeah, you guys don't want to really talk about my job." Like, "No, we don't want to talk about that. I don't have nothing else to talk about, right? Because this is all I do. You don't do anything else?" "I mean, I do, but it has to do with my business." Or I'm playing a video game, which I made, and during that time was making me money. So it's like, I don't have. We could talk about the weather, but it's hard for me to, like, we're not going to have those conversations. If you want to have an emotionally in-depth conversation, we could do that, right? Cool. Let me tell you how I'm feeling. You tell me how you're feeling. We can have those conversations. We can talk about, but most people don't want to do that, right? May I ask you, do you feel we would be further along today if we had others talking to us like this? Probably, maybe. We'd have a better understanding of ourselves for sure. Because when I have an in-depth conversation with someone, right, that's forcing me to grow. Like yesterday, my wife told me it's hard for people because I'll break it down. I was having a conversation with my daughter about budget yesterday, and my daughter was getting really emotional. I'm like, "What the hell?" She's like, "Well, when you talk to me like this," and I'm like, "I'm not mad at you." And and after talking with my wife for like an hour, because I'm sitting here like lost, like, "What?" And she was like, "Well, you got to understand men and women and da. And she doesn't want to disappoint you." I'm like, "Yeah, but she's not disappointing me. She just say you don't know. Just say you don't know what the hell you're doing right now. I'm good with that." She's like, "But people aren't ready to be that vulnerable." I'm like, "She wasn't raised like that." But my daughter's 20, right? So I can cut her some slack. But when I'm dealing with people my age and they don't know how to say I don't know, they don't know how to say I'm not sure, it means they're not having deep enough conversations on a regular enough basis to feel comfortable enough to share what and be honest about their feelings. One, they could be embarrassed. Two, they don't even know themselves. And three, they feel unsafe. Now, I've learned different levels of these because I have in-depth conversations. I have emotional conversations. That doesn't bother me. So yes, I believe if we had more in-depth conversations, it would force more growth. And I think people would be further along, right? I feel I would be now question everything and learn about everything. Wait, she feels she would be better. Yeah. It's like, but nothing's stopping you though. Nothing's stopping you from having those conversations. When you ask somebody how they are, like if like if I'm in a gas station, right? I always use the gas station because you go in, grab a drink, get some gas, maybe something else, grab some gum, whatever the case may be, you might run into somebody, right? And that happens to me all the time. I run into someone. I'm not trying to paint myself as this famous person, but I was in New Orleans and people ran up to me and was asking me, "Yo, Shaw, what?" Like my wife was like, "Yo, what is this? People know you everywhere." I'm like, "I just do a lot and I might run into people." But if I sit there and I'm like, "Hey, yo, how are you?" I'm genuinely asking you how you are. And if you ask me how am I, I'm going to genuinely give you an answer how I am. Now, if I'm dealing with the clerk, right? First of all, I can't tie up the clerk. I can't tie up the cashier. So it's like, "Hey, how are you?" "Oh, I'm doing good. How are you?" "No, I'm doing well. I'm doing well." As they're working, "Oh, are you enjoying your day so far?" Yeah, everything's good." Like, we'll have that, and then I'll dip because I can't tie them up. Does that make sense to everybody? I don't know if that's hitting home. That requires humility. Yeah, it requires being honest and understanding yourself. Like if someone asks me if I can, I'm trying to think of something. If someone says, "Shock, do you know how to drive a semi truck?" "No, I do not." "Do you want to learn?" "No, I do not." "No, I don't." So it's like, what's wrong with saying that? Or saying, hmm, I don't know if I do. Come back to me tomorrow and ask me that. Let me sit on that. Am I saying something that seems really off? Because that seems easy to me, Corey. Big facts. I got you. I try to have these type of conversations, but some people are uncomfortable not knowing stuff. What up, Edward? What up? Yeah, that's the big thing, man. I'm gonna sort of put my wife on blast. I had to tell her one time, just say you don't know, right? Because she would get upset about the questions, and I'm like, you're upset. I don't understand why you're getting upset at my questions when you're giving me answers and it's not making sense to me. So I'm asking more questions. When in all actuality, you didn't know. Just say you don't know. Be okay with not knowing. Just say I don't know. Like it seems so crazy to me. I don't know, but I'm gonna find out. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't know. Let me think on that. Like, I'm not asking you have to know the answer right now if you don't know the answer, but just be honest about that, right? It goes very much into the vulnerability. Can I ask you what your zodiac sign is? I want to say I don't know so bad, but I do know. Just because I say I don't know so many times, I'm a Gemini. I just, man, so much in me wanted to be just like heartless right there and say, I don't know. But no, I'm a Gemini. They're about to say something. But all of this is just, look, we don't learn a lot of this stuff in school. I don't know if they used to. I don't know if they learned finances back in the day in school. I don't know if they learned how important it was to build your dreams. I don't know if they really talked about that back in the day. I just know that's not something I was taught from any parental guidance or from schools. They always said you could be whatever you wanted to be, but they didn't give a full understanding how you could get there. Work hard, you could be whatever you want to be. Well, cool. Work hard, learn how to speak to other folks, learn how to network, learn how to shake someone's hands, learn how to look them in their eyes, learn how to put some of your money away and save it, learn how to do this, learn how to invest money, learn how to you don't necessarily have to go to college, you don't have to continue your education as far as schooling, but you should continue your education in whatever field you're choosing to go into. Learn from others, get mentors. These are things that I learned on my own, right? But do you understand how much time and energy you could save someone if you told them that part of the game? They still got to go do it, but you could tell them that part of the game, right? We all know that knowledge is closed culture. Man, I want to say that, and I know where you're going with that. When you say culture, what are you meaning race or are you meaning wealthy and poor? Learn how to use. I was gonna assume, but I thought I'd ask first time here, and I love hearing this stuff. Thank you. Yeah, man. I'm taking free spirit is a female because women always say, "Oh, you got Gemini energy." I'm like, I don't know what that means, but I just take it as that means I'm just light skinned, big, and sexy. So learn how to use systems to meet your goals to reach your target. Yes, yes, yes. Yes, bars. That one gets bars. That's bars right there. I'm gonna say that again. Learn how to use systems to meet goals to reach a target. Bars, bars, bars. That's why I appreciate coming across your page today, literally handing out priceless information. Oh man, thank you so much. Wealthy, poor. Okay, so you're talking about that. Yeah. So the wealthy people think that generational wealth is just financial. And I argue, or I always think that generational wealth is actually the knowledge because I may not reach my goal is 1.5 a year, right? That's my goal. 1.5 a year. Let's say I reach that. The knowledge, it's not the money that I hand to my kids, but if I hand them the knowledge to learn how to make 1.5 million by the time they are 30, like 30, I'm about to be 45. They're 15 years ahead of me then. Now they could take that knowledge that they've learned and that I've given them. And by the time they are 45, maybe they're making 3 million. Now they've doubled, right? So it's the knowledge, it's the understanding, and it's the appreciation for it. So I always believe it's the knowledge that we pass on to others. That doesn't mean that we're going to be financially set. It just means that we're going to have the knowledge with the capabilities of building something. Yeah. Even when I break this stuff down, if I live a comfortable life. I put a post about it. All the things that were in my dreams, my first dreams of building a business, being married, and raising my kids and having a beautiful family, those were the dreams I've had since I was probably in first grade. I remember having those dreams, at least some of them. In first grade, I knew I wanted to be married and have kids. By the time I was like a teenager, I knew I wanted my own business. I just didn't know how to get there. I've reached the mountaintop. I'm already there. Now I have other dreams, I have other goals, but at the baseline of everything, at the base of it, I have the first dreams I had when I was a kid, when I was a shorty. I'm grateful for that. Everything else is a cherry on top. Everything else. It would be this is something I've learned probably within the last 5 years, and I'm working on mastering it to not be in survival mode because I have the dream. I'm living my dream every day. So anything that happens, yo, I'm blessed to build more dreams. I have to master this stuff more. I have to continue to get better, but I'm living a very blessed life. And so the last part of really building and being successful and the things they don't teach us in school is to remove yourself from that survival mode and master what you're trying to do. Survival mode changes brain chemistry. Yeah. I'm always gonna have scarring from that. Always. I just can't let it define me. Generational wealth is knowledge and access to resources. There we go. My dad is 81, works full time as a farmer, but that's what he loves to do. You would think he's 60. Exactly. Exactly. Man, your pops is an inspiration. This is what my husband and I are trying to do with our children. Hey, Sarita, is that how you say your name? Sarita. Hey, do me a favor. I want you to honor the great philosopher Yoda. There is no try. Do or do not. There is no try. He taught me to work hard, never stop working for things you want. Once you accomplish one goal, keep going on to another. Let's go. Wise mind is using both sides of the brain. Let's get it. What happens when one person experiences survival mode and another hasn't? You just described you described my marriage right now. Woo, that's my marriage. So, ooh, I just got a tingle. Before we get offline, I'll answer this one. Yeah. So, Sarita, I'm hoping I'm saying your name right. What I would say, if one partner is in survival mode and one partner isn't, both need to learn to trust and learn how to communicate with each other. This is what I mean. My wife, everybody gets some trauma, right? Everybody gets some trauma that puts them in survival mode. My wife went through a divorce. Her parents went through a divorce, right? Trauma, own survival instincts right there, right? So everybody's got them. Don't get it twisted. Everybody's got them. They're just different. Me, I didn't know my father. I met my father on his deathbed. My stepfather raped me, beat me, called me racial slurs, did all kinds of craziness. I've been sliced up, shot at, beaten. Man, right? A whole bunch of trauma, whole bunch of different survival modes. I walk in a room, without counting, I know roughly how many people are in there. I know who I could take, who's going to give me some trouble. If they're carrying a weapon, how they're like, these are the things that I'm looking for automatically off jump, right? And I don't trust many people. I don't trust many people with just, how can I say this? It's something I've worked on. I walk in a room and they always tell me my energy is like I've doubled in size. Like I'm projecting really big energy, right? And that's a protection armor, right? So having conversations with my wife is always interesting because I'll say if I don't like something, I'll say if I just operate differently. What we've had to learn to do is to communicate and cater to the other person, right? So I may not understand her emotions and why she's getting upset at something. It's not about understanding in that moment. It's about recognizing and trying to be a better husband, recognizing what is our goal? Where are we trying to go with our lives? This isn't helping us get there. Instead of saying, yo, what you're saying isn't making sense, I just say, I word things differently, right? It's I'm not understanding what you're trying to convey. I'm not understanding where we're going. And I'm not seeing what we're trying to accomplish here. I'm taking full onus of my lack of ability to understand her right now. And then it's on me to say, maybe we should hold off on talking about this, let calmer heads prevail, blah, 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 blah. And my wife knows I don't want to be yelled at. I don't want an aggressive tone towards me. I don't want none of that. That's not me, right? I'm not going to listen to you. I'm not going to respond to you. You're not going to get anything out of me if you take that approach with me, because I recognize you're not a dude. I can't do anything to you. So I'm not going to engage in that, right? That's how we navigate that. That's how we learn how to move. And while we're both working on that, like I've spent a lot of time deep diving in myself and understanding my own scars. I work really hard not to let that affect me in the moment. And I have a long fuse, like a super long patience, like super long fuse of patience. So I could just chill, right? And it makes it easier. Throw the ego out the window and realize that we're a team. I know where we're trying to go. And it's my job as the leader of this team to navigate it. And if that means separating for 5 minutes and not talk about this, if that means admitting that I'm not understanding something, like whatever the case may be, I don't know if that helped. Survival mode is hard mode to discovering ego. Learn to find unconditional love, to find the elevated frequency, trust intuition, to trust others, put ego aside to feel compassion, turn your attention to the message behind the emotions, patience over tolerance. You sound like a great leader. Thank you, Paige. A lot of the things you said, you're right. I will say, turn your attention to the message behind the emotions. Well, I'm glad I met you too. Have a great day. Hopefully you follow, keep in tune. We go live every Monday. Turn your attention to the message behind the emotions. That's hard for men because we listen to the words that you say. And a lot of times you are saying words but feeling something that may not match up with what you're saying. And guys do it too. Don't get it twisted. We do it too. It's just, I know for me, if I see your emotions changing, it locks me into focusing on what you're saying. So I don't misconstrue what you're saying because I don't want to assume anything. How can I explain to my husband that when he yells at me, it's not going to get through to me? Well, one, because my survival mode is peaked through abuse and his was through abandonment and support. So one, you might need a third party to navigate that conversation. I know for me, when I told my wife, yo, I don't hear you. I worded it like this. I was like, when everything was calm and there was nothing going on, hey, I don't know how to respond to somebody yelling at me in a manner that would work for us. When someone yells at me, and this should help you too. When someone yells at me, all the things that I went through as a kid, it puts me into two different modes. It makes me want to fight back. And I can't yell at you, right? Because if I yell at you, it's gonna scare the living daylights out of you. And I definitely can't hit you or do any physical violence to you. And I don't want to do any physical violence to our house. So it makes me one argue back more, or it makes me shut down. But I also say, and this is where I need you to take this on yourself, is that I am allowing you to dictate my emotions. I understand that I should control my own emotions and not let you yelling or you taking a certain tone control my emotions. That's harder to do when I'm at home, because when I'm at home, I'm not armored up and ready for it. So if it happens out of nowhere or happens and I'm not even thinking it's going to happen, sometimes it instantly like triggers me. It catches me off guard. and my defense mechanisms go up. And sometimes I don't do a good job of filtering them and recognizing that. So a lot of times I just want to shut down and I don't even want to talk, right? If you were a dude and you talk to me like this, I tell you to shut the F up or I'm gonna smack you in your face. And then the dude will probably shut up, or I can smack him in his face, right? So how I would handle that with dudes is different than I would handle it with a woman. And so, and it's almost the same boat for you, because if you smack your man in the face, you're gonna be foul too, right? If you break stuff. So one, you got to understand that you got to take onus on yourself and control your own emotions and recognize that he's on your team because you're married. So he's on your team and he's reacting like a hurt animal right now. When my wife yells or raises her voice, and it doesn't happen that often anymore, I recognize that she's lacking in something. She doesn't feel heard. She doesn't feel loved. She doesn't feel secure anymore. So I gotta okay, if she's not feeling heard, I gotta ask her to, hey, you know what? I'm not hearing you and I'm not understanding you. You yelling isn't making it any better. Could we bring the tone down? And could you, when you're calm, can you reword this? If I think she's not feeling loved or safe, I gotta recognize I gotta de-escalate a different way. And I'm not perfect at it, right? But first and foremost, I control me, right? You control you is the name of the podcast. You are in control of you all the time. So you could say he did this and that's what caused you to do this, but you're in control of you. Your triggers are your triggers, but you can control, you have to work on them so they don't go off, that somebody else can't set them off. That's for you to work on, right? And then you just got to have a conversation with them like, hey, when you're yelling, I don't feel safe. I don't feel loved. Like, say that to a man, right? This is how you know if you got a good husband. Honey, can we talk? I want to talk about something with you. Make sure they're in a place where they are cool with talking. Honey, when voices get raised and I'm getting yelled at, it makes me feel unsafe. It makes me feel unloved. Notice you haven't pointed the finger at him at all. You're saying, I don't feel loved. I feel unsafe. Well, damn, a good man's not going to want you to feel unsafe or unloved. Oh, baby, I'm just mad. I don't want you to feel that. Do I make you feel that way? When you yell, yeah, sometimes. And I know you still love me, but I don't feel loved and I don't feel safe. A good man will work on that, right? A good man will definitely work on that. Because we want to be your knight in shining armor, right? We want to be your hero. We want to save the day. And if you word it in a way where it's like, hey, when someone yells at me, I don't feel safe and I feel unloved, it's like, we want to save you. If you have a man, understand the difference. Because if you didn't point those fingers at him and you took onus on it for you, and I know, like, I don't feel loved and I don't feel safe, and I know that that's on me, and those are triggers that I need to work on. But I just wanted you to know that when someone's yelling at me, I don't feel safe and loved because of what happened to me when I was a kid. That's a great level of vulnerability, right? And then you got to learn how to control your own triggers. And if he's a man, right, there's a difference. Just because he's got certain body parts, that doesn't necessarily make his spirit manly, right? He could be like, okay, it's something I need to work on. I don't want you to ever feel that way. If he's like, well, get over it, to me, that's not a man. Because our job as men is to protect and provide for our woman. Call me old school, but that's what it is, right? I know if I raise my voice, my wife won't feel safe and she won't feel loved. So I don't do it. And if my tone changes slightly, she'll say, hey, watch your tone, watch your tone. It's not that my tone is getting louder. She's just, my tone is doing something to make her feel a little unsafe, right? Because I'm not going to be monk-like all the time. So when she says, watch, when she asks me to watch my tone, I know she's starting to feel unsafe or unloved. I'm not doing my job as a man. I'm failing that challenge. I'm failing that aspect of life. I don't want to fail that. So I'm gonna rise to the occasion, but I'm not perfect, right? If that makes sense to you, what if the raised voice is a way to channel the emotional message, not ugliness, but raised voice? Then yeah, you got to play that by ear. Like my wife is passionate, right? She'll start talking in a tone, and it just depends, right? That's why I said it's on you to fix that trigger. So it just depends. But I'm guessing in her case, it's someone's yelling at her, like they're in a fight and someone's yelling. I'm guessing. Great relationship, 15 years married, happy and grateful, but S drive away different and a bit of stress. But S dot drive. But S drive, I'm guessing the bedroom drive way different and a bit of stress. I'm guessing that's what I don't know. Preacher man turning in from Sweden, that's what's up. If I raise my voice, I'm feeling passion. If my message isn't being heard, that is unfortunate. Yeah, but raising your voice doesn't for us, it doesn't do anything for us. You can yell, it doesn't make us want to hear it. It doesn't mean that we're going to hear the message. You yelling and raising your voice is you feeling unheard and feeling misunderstood. That's not going to make us hear it any better. All about leaving egos at the door. If as a man you can overcome that feeling the road, yes, it clears very much. Yes, yes, on intimacy. Loud voices raise my hair on my body. I can be safe doesn't mean my body feels like it is. Yeah, that's tough, yo. That's real tough. So can you go back up to Raven? Raven says something, so now I can put it all together. Okay, great relationship, 15 years married, happy, grateful, but intimate drive away, different, and bit of stress. Well, yes, usually in a relationship, someone's got a higher S drive than the other person. That comes down to communication and talking about it too, and understanding like if a woman doesn't have a high S drive and a man does, both parties should understand that. But the woman has to understand that the man, like we connect with physical, we connect physically. Now, if it's the other way, not saying women don't connect physically, it's just no matter what, it's going to take communication. And it shouldn't be withdrawn. Honestly, figure out how you guys really just got to communicate. He's 41, she's 44. So is he just can't do it? Or he just doesn't have a drive to do it? Or she doesn't want to do it? And then some of it is like emotion. And I'm sorry, some of it's like chemically. Like, are you eating right? Are you working out? Are you getting the right endorphins going, the right chemicals going? Because all that affects what's going on. If someone's on social media all the time, you're messing up your dopamine receptors, and that affects your S drive, to be honest with you. So like that's why eating healthy, somewhat working out, doing all these things will help you have a higher S drive. And then mentally, like, is there an attraction between the parties? So many things that come into play in that. But it all boils down to communication. Like, let's just talk, right? Man, very helpful from okay, glad I could help, right? Man, so we got some dope interviews coming up in the next few weeks. We got Will Green coming up, who is doing some great things on the nonprofit sector and really helping the community. We got Tom Farley, who's Chris Farley's brother, coming up. And then we got the homie Bang, who just released a book. So we got some dope. Yeah, we got some dope interviews coming up. Could it be focus? Could it be a focus on maintaining a calm tone, trusting of good faith? Yeah, but like Paige, I would tell you just communicate with whoever. If you're a passionate person and you raise your voice, your partner just has to understand that and try to be calm with that and learn how to roll with those punches, right? Freshly Snipes and Sarita, thank you for the hearts. Appreciate y'all so much for that. Thank y'all for liking. Please follow, subscribe, all this, man. We got clips coming out now from the podcast. We're doing the damn thing. Appreciate y'all so much. Make sure you check out youcontrolyou.com. Man, I love y'all, man. Thank y'all for tuning in. Appreciate y'all. See y'all next Monday. Peace.
Shit, I'm about to go wait in this place when you dropping the bass in. The beat inside the streets of awaken, I'm making to break my foot off of somebody's ass. I'm waiting for someone to say my name so I can annihilate them. Okay, yeah. Everyone was screaming the rape when I was kicking at the gate till it caved in. Belly scraping by, but now I'm paid. Look at the paper I raked and I'm caking like Jay-Z and Drake. And I hate when people say that I ain't killing shit. The game is my playpen. I punch you in the face and end up breaking your break bands. I'm far from Hollywood, I'm posted up at the days in. Even though the industry say I'm the latest sensation. Drop the song at the award show. They're coming complacent. Mama saw me on TV with just a bum in the basement. You a Captain Saber, who you just fucking the cake in. I fuck your baby